Usually when a big and powerful car with a twin-turbo V8 turns up to our office, well, I decide to pull rank and get behind the wheel as soon as possible. But today I want to do things differently. That's because we have got a very special car with us. This is the all-new Mercedes Maybach S Class. Now, I'm not going to be driving it. I think I have decided to be more generous today. And that's why I'm going to let my colleague, Karan, drive it, and he'll do the driver duties today.
I'm not going to turn down driving a 500 horsepower twin-turbo V8 any day, even if that means disrupting his sleep in the back.
Well, whatever you want to do, you can drive how you want to drive, but don't let me bother because I want to enjoy the luxuries of this car. I want to enjoy that back seat. So make sure I'm not bothered anytime.
I'll try my best to keep those 500 horsepowers as gentle as I can.
Okay, let's get going then.
Come.
What the hell, man? Why are you inside? Aren't you supposed to open the door for me?
I know I'm supposed to open the door for you, but on the new Maybach, I actually don't have to get out to open the door for you. So I just swipe here and there you go. You can get in, sir.
That's a very cool feature, actually.
Do you also want me to shut the door for you?
Well, no, thank you. I think the car can do it by itself. Watch this.
Okay, now if your Maharaja duties are finally over, can we get driving?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Now, the thing I absolutely love about the Maybach's cabin is the attention to detail. It is full of small bits that are so cleverly done. For instance, the moment you sit inside the car, you shut the door and you raise a hand like that and the seat belt automatically comes to you. So it feels so nice, it feels so special. Now similarly, when you take off your seat belt and open the door, it goes back in. So a very clever feature, and of course it makes you feel special because everything is just being served to you. Now as you can see, this car is full of tech and features. We've got 3 screens here, 2 on the front seats, and we've also got this nice tab over here. Now these screens, they run on Mercedes's latest MBUX system and they're super crisp to use. So every control that a driver has, well, you can just manage it from here. You can be the backseat driver, literally. Now apart from this, of course, as you can see, there are a lot of buttons here. Now here, as you can see, it has got heated seats, ventilation as well, and you've got this very special button which is called the chauffeur package. Now as soon as you press it, well, the front seat, it goes forward, bends down, and you have a lot more legroom in here. Now at the same time, the rear seat has also started to recline, and the calf rest will also come up. So you literally don't have to move a limb. Everything is done on its own. Now if you have to come back to your normal position, you just have to press this button down here and everything will go back to default setting. Now one thing that I would like to mention is that once you're sitting here in this position, well, the screen moves away from you. So in that case, what you can do is take this nice Galaxy tab out and you can access all the systems from here. Now the seats in itself, they're very comfy, very cozy, and you've got this nice and cushiony backrest here as well. Now the other thing is the seats are ventilated, heated, and they also come with inbuilt massaging system. Now you have all the options here. You can access it through the screen as well, but if the screen, like I said, it's away from you, you can access it using this tab, and it has all the functionality over here. So as you can see, I've now got close to 8 massaging functions, so you can sit here very comfortably. When the driver is driving, you can relax here. You really don't care about what's happening in the world outside. You're just isolated in here, and there are so many toys and so many systems and so many creature comforts that you are never bored in here. I don't think you have to care about the traffic or what's happening outside, what's the weather like. Everything in here, it feels like you're in a different zone. You're just completely isolated from the rest of the world. Now speaking of that, there are 3 things which keep you isolated in here. Now starting with the Burmester 4D sound system. It is a high-tech system and it comes with noise cancelling feature. Now like a high-end noise cancelling headphones, what it does, it cuts out all the noises. So inside here, you can't feel anything. The other thing is, of course, the refinement. The engine is so refined, I can't hear if the engine is running or not. That probably Karan will tell you later on how does it behave. But from here, I can't really make out if it's running or not. Now the last part is of course the ride quality. It rides as if you are literally on cloud 9. You can't really feel everything. It just wafts along. There is no movement inside the car also. Whether it's high speeds, whether it's at slow speeds, bad roads, good roads, you don't really feel anything in here. Now there are so many things in here that make you feel so special. I mean, the real difference between this and the S Class is in terms of the quality of material and the overall equipment. Now of course I'm not saying the S Class's quality is any worse, but this thing, it takes the game up by a notch. Now here everything feels top quality. Like look at these seats, it comes with quilted leather, and even the grab handles, well, they are also finished in leather. So every component that you touch and feel, it just feels luxurious, it just feels out of this world, I'd say that. Now similarly, the Burmester sound system that we've talked about, it also comes with something called exciters, and those exciters, well, they are in the seats. So when you're driving along, it's in all the seats, all 4 seats, even the driver's seat. So when you're driving along, well, it has got resonators and you can feel all the beats from the seat. So it gives you a more 4D sort of effect. That's what they call it. It's called 4D, and the 4D is actually these exciters or resonators. So overall the cabin, well, I can't even explain in words because I haven't experienced something like this ever before. Even in the S Class, everything is top notch, but this thing, it definitely feels much better. It definitely feels more luxurious, and it definitely feels more special. You get your money's worth here, and it'll make you stand out from the S Class crowd. I think from here on, I let Karan do the talking because he'll tell you more about how this car drives and how it feels from behind the wheel.
Okay, so while Shivank is chilling in the backseat, let's talk a little bit about how this Maybach S580 drives. Now this has a 4-liter bi-turbo V8. It makes almost 500 bhp, over 700 Newton meters of torque, and that means that as long and as big as it is, the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time is less than 5 seconds. It's 4.7 seconds. So there's actually a lot of performance here. I'm right now in the Maybach driving mode. So in the Maybach driving mode, it basically dulls down all the engine responses, makes for basically maximum comfort for the passenger at the back, which is Shivank right now. Shivank, how comfortable is it back there?
Well, I think it's quite comfortable, and yesterday I was driving the car. I think even during downshifts, you don't feel anything. There's no jerk at all. So it is very comfortable, and from here, it feels like as if you're driving an electric car. It's just seamless all the way.
So that electric car feeling I also get from the driver's seat. As soon as you set off, there's so much torque available. Of course, this also has the EQ boost system. So it sets off with absolutely no lag, no inertia. It really doesn't feel its weight as long as you're going in a straight line. Now, I say that because since this is a very big car, it's a heavy car and it's very comfort oriented, so there is a lot of body roll. If I go really hard into a corner, actually I don't even need to push it that hard for me to go into some body roll. So the Maybach, of course, is not made to be a sports car, but I'll tell you that it is a little wallowy, it is soft, there is body roll, but it never feels like it's doing anything untoward. It'll always keep its body in check, which is nice to see. But when you're driving on the highway, when there's undulations, when there's potholes, that's where the Maybach really shines. It doesn't really sit inside a bump. It never really crashes into a bump. It just glides over it. It just glides over undulations and it feels really comfortable. We were driving back with the Taigun in tow with us, the camera car, and I could see the passengers inside were getting moved about and, you know, jumped around on bumps. But on the Maybach, there's absolutely nothing. This really drives so well. You don't even feel like pushing it. Actually, I have put it in sport mode. Sport mode obviously brings up sharper responses and it responds to your brake pedal a little bit more. But the best way to drive this car is in Maybach mode. Just leave it in Maybach mode and it's fantastically easy to drive. Now, it's easy to drive in a straight line and as long as you don't have to make tight turns, because the S580 does not get rear wheel steering. So the S650, the V12, is a CBU and that gets rear wheel steering, which makes it sort of easy to maneuver tight spaces. But on this car, U-turns are a little bit tricky. Most U-turns will probably be a 3-point turn for you. But aside from that, it's fairly easy to judge the size of this car. It's not too much of a hassle in traffic. And I think a plus point of that is the fact that it looks sort of unassuming to most people on the outside. It is, of course, very big. And if someone takes a second look at the car, they'll straight away know this is not a normal S Class. But it doesn't really scream for attention. So there's no bikers swarming around you or people trying to cut you off. So all that makes this car fairly easy to drive. So while Shivank has a lot of equipment in the back there, I also have a lot of stuff here. I have my activating massage on. I actually have more massage functions here in the front than Shivank does at the back. I don't have the calf massage that he has, but there's a lot of massage options here. There's also a really nice bright digital instrument cluster. This has a specific Maybach mode, which I think really looks cool. It's got these rose gold accents. I really like that. Of course, this MBUX screen is fantastic. You can control all of the car's functions from here. You can also shut the doors and open the doors from here, which is great. And while quality of materials is great at the back as well, even at the front here, the quality of materials is fantastic. You can go all the way down, put your hand all the way down here, and you still won't feel any cheap plastics. It's actually leather all the way till down here, which is great to see. Also, these pedals aren't like normal pedals, normal plastic pedals in any other car. These are metal pedals, and they have the Maybach logo on them, just reminding you that you are driving a Maybach. So in terms of features, of course, the Maybach is fully kitted, as Shivank told you. At the front here, in terms of driving, you also have the ADAS tech. So there's active blind spot monitoring, active brake assist, there's active lane keep assist. So a lot of stuff that sort of actually makes the driver's job a little less stressful. I'm actually not wearing my driver's attire today. Even though Shivank told me to come dressed in a crisp white shirt with my driver's hat on, I forgot. But actually, Shivank, you're also not dressed like a Maybach customer. I must point that out.
Well, yeah, I mean, see, I'm no business tycoon, but if you check Mercedes' data, well, they say the average age of their S Class customer is 38 years. So all the customers, well, now you really don't have to put them in this sort of stereotype, you know, that they wear suits and they're always dressed up in their Armanis and all, because modern Mercedes S Class customer, well, it's a youngster. These are young people, and if you follow social media, like a lot of Bollywood A-listers, they are buying the Maybachs right now. So it's all the young people going for these cars, and it's really funny because it assumes that they are the ones buying the AMGs, but it's actually the young clientele which is buying these cars. So really interesting. That's why I didn't want to get into that sort of dress up, you know, didn't want to be in that formal attire. And I think that makes sense because these cars, well, they're great to drive, and even at the back, this is the most comfortable car that I've been in, I think, ever.
Actually, I must point out that while those Bollywood celebrities are buying these cars, they'll also enjoy listening to their Bollywood tunes in this car, because as Shivank said, this Burmester 4D sound system is really pumps you in the back with the beats, and it's not overly intrusive. You can obviously change the settings and make it, you can obviously switch off the exciters completely, but with them on full, you can really feel the music into your back. So I think that is a fantastic feature.
To be honest, like I'm just interrupting you, but I think from the front also, this car, see, as an owner, I have paid nearly 3 crores for this car. On-road price is going to be close to 3 crores. But I think at the front, it's the driver who's enjoying everything. The exciters also, they feel more exciting at the front, I'd say, because the total sort of effect that you get at the front, well, I think it's much nicer and it feels more immersive that way. At the back, of course, you've got everything. But I know I have driven this car for a fair bit before we started the shoot, and I know from behind the wheel, it feels a wee bit nicer actually, even compared to this back seat. You have acres of leg room, but I do miss the driver's seat. So if you're someone who enjoys driving, I think this is not a bad car. It has got the performance, like Karan said, it does 0 to 100 in just under 5 seconds. And you have got all the features, all the luxuries in the world. Even when you're driving it, you don't really push it to the maximum because you enjoy driving this car slowly. Just even at low speeds, if you're doing city speeds less than 60 kilometers per hour, it just feels absolutely enjoyable. You feel like you are in your zone, it's your den, and you absolutely enjoy it. It actually feels like meditation, and you're not bothered by anyone. Even if there's traffic, even if people are driving like crazy, it doesn't bother you. You are just in your zone, and I think that's what this car does. It brings that peace and calm to your life.
That's true actually, and one thing I must point out of the driving experience is that on the Maybach you have this chrome strip running down the center of the bonnet, and the bonnet sort of scoops down like this. and that makes the driving experience feel just that much more special. That chrome strip, it really jumps out at you, and you can tell right from here, even if you don't look at anywhere near the cabin, that you're not driving a regular S-Class, you're driving something really, really special. And I also must point out that while Shivank is very comfortable in the back there, there's this pillow here for my head, and it's one of the softest pillows my head has ever had the pleasure of resting on. So you can be comfortable here in the front as well, and like I said, there's all those massaging functions. So yes, whether you're in the back, whether you're in the front, you can really have fun in the Maybach S Class. Now, before I move ahead, I just want Shivank to experience the acceleration of the Maybach S Class once. So I've put it in sport. There's also these big fat metal paddles here. Shift it down. I must point out that this car almost never jerks during downshifts. Even though I've aggressively downshifted to first, it never jerks during downshifts or upshifts. But here we'll floor it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose my job as a driver very soon.
But I think I won't just fire him yet because I didn't actually feel anything. Yes, it was a little rapid, but overall, you're very comfortable in here. So your driver can also have all the fun, but in the back, well, you're just going to enjoy that as well, because it's just that the scenery around it just blurs out quickly. But other than that, you don't feel anything here. And one thing I must point out, when you look at that 3-pointed star logo, like at the front, well, you definitely feel that you've arrived in life. I think that's a big statement.
Yep.
Plus, of course, the triple M's of the Maybach. Well, this feels absolutely brilliant. I mean, you feel like you're really the king of the world, right? That's what I'd say. And most of the people would ask you, why would you buy this? Why would you spend over 1 crore on this car, you know, compared to the S Class? I think the answer is simple. The S Class, for many people, there are a lot of people buying the S Classes, you probably don't know, but a lot of people are buying the S Classes, and it sells like hotcakes. So the Maybach, in that regard, it sets you apart. The S Class is probably a little too regular, and this thing, it sets you apart. It tells you that, you know, you have that taste and you want something different. So while a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce, of course, they are even more exclusive, but what this thing brings to the table, well, it has that typical Mercedes technology, typical Mercedes drive quality, the performance, and at the same time, it stands out because of its Maybach badge and all these features, these luxuries. So for me, I think that's what justifies its price tag. That's what separates it from the S Class. The S Class is great in its own right, but this thing is an S Class taken to the next level.